I'm Dr. Pooja Jaising, and I work with Adobe as a principal e-learning evangelist. And today I'm here to share some of the tips, tricks, and workflows to create custom e-learning interactions using Adobe Captivate. I've pasted the link for downloading the files that I'll be using today. So make sure you download and use them right now or later if you would like to follow along later. With that, I have a question for you before I start showing you the custom interactions that I have planned for today. Uh, what are the types of interactions that you create for your e-learning courses usually? What are your favorite ones or the staple, interactions that you use? Just write in the chat. I would love to know that. Storyline, okay. Software walkthroughs and how-tos, very good. What other interactions do you use? Do you use a lot of knowledge checks, quiz questions, drag and drops, flip cards, or click to reveal, click to replace, tabs, games? What are the types of interactions you usually use for your courses? I can see hotspots there, demo, knowledge checks, right about what I was expecting you guys to say. So what I've done for today is I've handpicked some interesting, interactions that I have planned for you, and I hope you find them interesting as well. So here's the link again. It's in the chat. Let me also paste it one more time if you've missed seeing it. These are the files if you would like to follow along right now or later on. Also, I hope you're following the scavenger hunt, and if you are, here's your clue, so that you can go back to the 70s. Let's begin the session now, and let me start with sharing of what are the types of interactions I'm planning for today. So let's preview this completed file. So the files that I've shared with you have two Captivate files. One is in a start state and one is in a completed state. So here's the completed one. We'll see how what are we going to create, and then we will start creating them. Okay, there are 5 of these interactions that I have planned for today. If you like any of these interactions, let me know, and let's see which one is your favorite, and then we will start building it. So here's the first one. We have some kettlebells, and when I hover over them, I can see the hover state. It lights up, it is colored, and it shows me exactly what is inside that. And when you click any of these kettlebells, there is some information that is displayed related to that. It's some dummy text here, but we just want to concentrate on the mechanism here and how to create such a thing. So when I click any of these kettlebells, you can see the information related to it appears on the screen. So we will see this interaction. It's a pretty simple and easy to create interaction with simple show hide action that we will be writing for it. Let's go to the next one. And here's a flip card. And so this is the front of the card. And at the back of the card, there is some information related to it. So when you hover over it, you can see the hover state. There is a light outline and some shadow applied to it just to give it a feel that this is a clickable object. When you click any of these cards, information shows up, and then you can't go back to the front of the card. It's just a one click thing. You click it and you read the information, and the same happens for the rest of the cards. Okay, so this is another interaction, again pretty easy to create, and we will see the do's and don'ts of creating a flip card and how to avoid some of the things that you might face while creating this interaction. The next one is macronutrients in daily diet, and here I have these markers. When you hover over them, the color changes, and you can see there are some graphics in black and white, and when you click any of these markers, the marker turns as a check mark and you see the information related to it. Also, the graphic becomes colored. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. When you click the next marker, the first information, the prior one, disappears, and the information related to this marker appears on the screen. And also, the image lights up, which means that these two markers are visited and this one is not. So when you go and click it, the third one also lights up, shows the information, and removes the information that was there for the prior marker visible, so that it's not too cluttered. You are just concentrating on the information that that is relevant for you. Okay, so this is the second interaction we'll be building. Again, it's show hide and changing the state of a multi-state object. So it combines two things here. This image that you see has different states, so we will be changing the state, plus we'll be showing and hiding these three captions that appear when you click any of these markers. Then we will move forward and make it a little more complex. Here's a part of a scenario screen where there's a conversation happening between a doctor and a patient. And there are these three markers here on the top. These help the doctor ask the right questions and the patient answer them correctly. So when you click it, you see the first set of conversation appear between the doctor and the patient. You click the second one, and it helps them identify minor issues and then update necessary immunizations. So this is something that you can create using, again, the states. Okay, let me just do that. Okay, is that better, Tiana? I believe so. Okay, so this is done, and then we go to the next interaction. Here again, we have this text, and this text has different states to it related to these four ways to boost your immune system, and the image also has four more states for which are related to this. So here, what we will do is instead of clicking these and changing the state, we will drag this piece of object and drop it in this dotted area. Okay, so when I drop the pillow here, you can see that the text changes to D2 and the image changes to the person sleeping. When you drag this running shoe in this area, the pillow goes back to its original position and you see the person exercising. If you drag the glass of water, it shows the image here and the text also changes. So it becomes more, I would say, engaging and interactive, and the students will really enjoy doing this interactivity. So these were the 5 things that we will be creating today. I have run some groundwork in the start file. I'll show you what I've done, and then we will take it to the finished state. So out of these 5 interactions that you just saw, which one did you like the most? I would love to know in the chat. Okay, and meanwhile, if there are any questions, let me see if it's in the moderator chat. Okay. Tiana, any questions that you saw?
Yes, we have one question. Let's see here. I've got a few courses I'm still converting from Flash with similar interactions. Do you suggest recreating, or is it easier to modify?
So, if it is created using Adobe Flash, then you will need to recreate. If it is created using, say, a tool like Captivate or Lectora or Storyline, then you can just republish it in HTML5 format. I believe all three of the tools allow you to do that. You can, yes, Captivate, then you can just open it in a newer version and publish it to HTML5 format, and you don't need to recreate unless you've used some options which are not compatible with HTML5, which I don't believe there are many unless you have used the rollover objects. If you've used rollover objects, you will have to just change it to use a shape and give it a hover state rather than using the dedicated rollover object. If you have more questions, we can talk offline, and I can help you with any questions you have about it, about that particular question. Okay, and any other questions before we move forward?
That is all the questions we have in the Q&A tab so far.
Great. And I can see some of you have loved the flip cards, the diet activity, and drag and drop. Drag and drop is my favorite. I have a soft corner for the drag and drop interactions. I really love them. The only problem with drag and drop interactions is that they are not accessible. So you have to devise an alternate activity if you are providing an accessible a course or enabling accessibility to it. You will have to convert it into a click based interaction and provide it to your learners, because so far drag and drops cannot be made accessible in Captivate. So that's one thing that you need to work around with, but otherwise it gives a nice variety to your courses. So let me just close this, and I'll close the completed version of this course, and let's go back to the start version. So here, let's start from the beginning. And here's my first slide. These are the kettlebells, and you can see that if I preview this slide right now, let me just show it to you how it looks at the moment. So when you open the slide, you can see everything is available up front. There is no hover, there is no click. These are all simple images, and this is text object. Everything is non-interactive. It's just laid out over here so that we don't have to waste time, placing the objects on the screen. Uh, can you explain that again? Drag and drop are not part of Captivate. No, Jennifer, drag and drop is part of Captivate. It is just not 508 compliant. That's what I meant. Yes, thanks. Great. Okay. So this is how the interaction currently looks, and what we will do is we will do some steps so that this interaction is converted into the interaction where you click the kettlebell. It has hover and visited state, and this text shows up. So let's start with the first step. The first step is that when the screen loads, none of this information is visible on the screen. So how you can make it hidden on the screen when you load it is when you select it, and in the properties panel you will find that there is this eye icon, which when you hover over it, it says visible in output, and if you click it, it will say not visible in output. So you have to make it not visible in output, and let's do the same for the remaining four captions. So either you can do it one by one, or you can shift select these captions just to make it easy, and click the eye icon, and it will be not visible in output. Now when you are done with this, just preview it, and when you preview it, you will notice that those captions are now not visible on the screen. So our first step is done. We have removed the visibility of these captions, so the learners will not see it until they click these kettlebells. Okay, so let's do that now. So for making these kettlebells clickable, first we will have to convert these images. So these are PNG images that I've added here. We have to use them as buttons. So we will convert these images into buttons. Okay, so for that also, what I will do is I will shift select and select the option use as button. This will convert these kettlebells into buttons, and it will add inbuilt states to it, which is hover and down. Hover state is the state which is triggered. So let me just select the first one, and we'll go to the state view so that we can take a look at it clearly. So here you can see this is the rollover state. This state appears when you hover over the button, and down state is at the time of the click. There's another state that you can add, which is an inbuilt state in buttons, which I usually like to use for, especially for interactive screens, which is called the visited state. This is triggered when you have click the button and it retains it. So down happens and then it goes away. It just appears at the time of the click. When you release the mouse button, it goes away. So if you want it to be retained, you will need a visited state. And I usually like to add that. I sometimes go and delete the hover and the down state, but I always go and add visited state because it adds a lot of I would say character to it, and the learners know that this button has been clicked. Now, when you saw this kettlebell, when I was hovering over it or visited state, it was colored and it had some dumbbells in it. So let's go and add that. I've added that to the library in the file so that it's easier for you to use it. So let's go and find it. So here you can see this is the habit one normal. I have habit one visited image. So with the visited state selected, I just have to drag it from the library and drop it over this first dumbbell, and it will replace the image. It will remove the original blue image from here and replace it with this new image. So you can do that. And this is possible in any image in Captivate. You can just drag and drop an image over another image and it will replace it for you. Now let's do the same for the down state. You can decide to have a different image or you can reuse the same image. Here, I didn't feel the need to have a different image for hover and visit it, so I'm just using the same image over here. Now, what we can do is we can switch to the other states as well. So here, this is wait to. I will go and again add visited. Again, like we did for the previous one, we will bring in the right image and just replace it over here. Notice that in the library, I have named everything appropriately so that it's easier for me to work with these, assets and quickly work with them. So at the time of creation of the assets, I named them nicely and got them inside Captivate so that my life is easier when I'm doing this demo. And I do it always whenever I am creating the courses as well, generally when I'm not demoing. So I would recommend that you should do it too. And here you can see that I can easily go and replace and once we do this, it's a little bit of a hard work, but the results are really nice. It really makes the button pop and shine, and you can really see that it adds a lot of color to the course. Okay, so we've done this. We've not yet added any action to it, but let me just quickly preview this for you, and let's see how it works. So the first step we did was we removed this area, and now we've added the hover and visited state. So here you can see when I'm hovering, it is changing its color, and it's nicely showing us the new colored image that we added over there. Okay, when I clicked, it went to the next slide because the default action attached to any button Captivate is go to next slide. So I just went back from here, and you can see that I'm hovering over it, and now we have to write an action that on click, instead of going to the next slide, we want to show the caption that we generated. So let's write that now. So I'll go and select the first kettlebell, and then we will go to properties, we will go to action, and here you can see this is the default action. Go to the next slide, select it and say show, and then again I have named the content appropriately. This caption is named as habit content 1, again just to make it easy for us to select it, otherwise I will have to remember text caption 264 which I don't want to do. So here we select habit content 1. Also with the action that is associated here, the playhead of Captivate automatically starts moving. So a continue action is automatically attached to it. We don't want to do that because we don't want it to move to the next slide. So I'll just uncheck this so that it doesn't continue playing the project. And if you want to see a hand cursor when you hover over this, you can select hand cursor. Captivate also adds a click sound along with the button. I particularly don't like it, so I usually disable the click sound. And if I want any click sound, I add my custom sound as an action and say play audio. So it's your wish. If you like the sound, go ahead with it. If you don't like it, you can just disable it. Okay, so let's preview this one more time, and you can see that I keep reviewing these interactions again and again and again, and that's because you're doing a lot of steps when you're writing an interaction. It's better to nip all the mistakes in the bud rather than trying to figure out what went wrong where, and it becomes very difficult to do things. So just try and fix everything by previewing again and again and again. Now we wrote the action for this one. See, we clicked it, and it shows the text caption over here. Perfect. So Amy is asking, is your text saved as an image? No, it's a text caption. I named it as, so here you can see it is a text caption, and it is named as habit content one. It's not an image. Uh, Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So we've done this. This object is done. Now we need to do the rest of them. And me being a super lazy girl, I love to find out hacks and shortcuts. So let's do some shortcuts here. I will select the second kettlebell, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. So I have selected these four kettlebells, and for all of them, I will say show, and I will select one of the kettlebells. And usually I go and select the second one, so at least that is done. So I'll go and select habit content 2. So for now it will show habit content 2 for all these buttons. Okay, we will fix that, but let's do the rest of the steps. So I'll uncheck continue, which I want to uncheck for all four of them. I want to check hand cursor for all four of them. I want to check disable click sound for all four of them. So instead of doing it 4 times, I have shift selected this and did these steps. Now I will click somewhere in the scrap area so that it's deselected, and then go to habit 3. And now the only thing I will have to do is open the show drop down and change it to the related content. This really helps me because when you're doing four things at a time, the chances of you missing out on important details is really possible. So I think whenever you can optimize time and steps, you should definitely do it. And this is one of the things that I always do. So now I can click these kettlebells in any particular order I like, and done. That the interaction is ready, and you can see that we have laid these out in this particular manner, but you can actually use it for anything. If you have a small piece of text that you want to show an image, you want to show or hide any content in your project, you can use this mechanism, and it will allow you to create a quick interaction just like that. Visually it looks nice, and to create it is super super easy. Okay, any questions still here? Yes, Laura, it is definitely efficient. But calling myself lazy, I like it. Okay, I don't see any other questions here. So let's move forward, and let's go and create the next one, which is the flip card screen.
Hi,
So,
we do have one question that just came
uh-huh,
in.
okay,
I've got a few courses. I'm still converting from, oh, sorry, no, that's the one I already read. Can you force
yeah.
users into going in a particular order?
Uh, yes, you can definitely force users to go in a particular order. What you can do is, in that case, you will hide everything just the way we did, and then when you are clicking this, you will keep these also disabled. So at the slide entry, so you have actions like here on enter, you will go to no action, and you will create an advanced action and say disable disable wait 1, wait 2, wait 3, wait 4, and wait 5. And then when the screen loads, you will actually wait 1 you will not, because you will need one object to be enabled. So you will disable these at the start of the screen, and then when this is clicked, you will show this content plus enable the second wait. When you click the second wait, you will say show the content for the second and enable the third one. So it's pretty easy. At the start of the slide, you will disable these four, and then you will enable them one by one. It's pretty easy. You don't even need any conditions or advanced action, oh sorry, conditions or variables for this. um, I don't think we have too much time to cover that, but if we find time, I can show that to you. Otherwise, write to me and I will dig for a video or something, and I'll share it with you. Okay. So let's move forward, and this is the flip card. Here I have a simple PNG image. This is my PNG image, which I've added to a shape. So here you can see I have a shape, uh, uh, a rectangular shape, and I have filled it with an image, which is this image. Okay. Now what I've done is, this is my front of the card, but if you go to the state view, I've added a back of a card, which is again shape, but this time instead of filling it with image, I've filled it with the background color, and then I've added some text to it. Okay. So this is how I have created it. And for all four cards, so if you see morning, afternoon, evening, and night, each of them have a back card, an active card, I would say. So what you can do is, you can select this card, and you can use it as button, and then you can change the state of this card to active. So I've selected use as button. I go to action, and I will select change state of morning to active. Okay. Again, I'll uncheck continue playing the project because I don't want it to continue, and I'll preview in HTML5. So this will work, but there is a problem that I would like to highlight here, which will happen. Okay. So you can see that I am able to hover over it, and it gives a nice pretty hover state, which I had pre-added, and it reappeared when I converted it into a button. But all I did was added some shadow and some outline to the same image so that it looks a little different. Now, when I click it, it shows the information. But when I hover over it, you can see that this front of the card keeps coming back, because that's a part of the hover. So if you go to the state view, you can see that this is the normal state without the outline. This is the hover state with the outline and down state. So the hover state keeps coming back, which doesn't look nice. So either you can delete the hover state and down state and just have two states here. That's possible. But if you are in love with the hover state and you want that to be there, what you can do is, you can add a disable action along with it. Once the card is disabled, the hover state will not be there. Now, here we've already added one action, which is change state of, but to add additional action, there is no way to do over here. For that, you will have to use the advanced actions panel. To open the advanced actions panel, you can go to the project button and select advanced action. And this is nothing but a laundry list of actions you can write for your project. Okay. So don't worry about the word advanced. It is not rocket science. Okay. So let's create this action. We will just name this as card one, because it is for card one. And the action that we used here was change state of. So we will replicate that action over here. Here we placed it vertically. Here we'll be writing it horizontally. Okay. So double click on the first line and select the action change state of, and then here select morning and change it to active. That's what we want to happen. So here you can see it's change state of morning active. The same thing goes here. And the second line, we have to disable this button. So once the state is active, we want this card to be disabled. Okay. So that's all we want to do. I'll click save as action, click OK, click close, and preview HTML5 in browser. And let's see. So here I'll click the play button, and let's go here. So here you can see I can see the hover state. Okay. I am able to see the hover state here, and when I click it, it will oh, I did not associate the action, sorry. So here we have to change it to execute advanced action in card one, and then preview. This is the thing that I usually forget. So make sure you do not forget that, and click the play button. And here you can see I'm able to hover, and when I click it, it shows the card, and now the hover state no longer appears. There is no hand cursor, there is no hover, nothing. So when you want to create something like this, and you want the hover state to be retained, this is what you need to do. Okay, so let's replicate this for the rest of the cards as well. I'll go and shift select these and use as button. And for these three, we will write the same action, advanced action, that we wrote for the morning card. So what we can do is, again, we will do something efficient. We will use the duplicate option for advanced action over there. Okay, so again, we'll go to project advanced action, and again you will see the blank slate. The previously created advanced actions will be listed here under existing actions. So select the action that you wrote. Okay, so this is the action that we wrote. Here we don't have to edit this, we have to first duplicate it, because this is valid for card 1. We want to write a similar action for card 2, 3, and 4. So let's duplicate this, and this is the button on the top right corner, duplicate action. It's a small little but very useful button. Click it and it will make a copy of that particular action. Rename it. So I'll, instead of saying duplicate of card 1, I'll name it as card 2. And here, the first line and second line, the first column that you see here, change state of and disable, this doesn't need to be changed because that's the action that we want to do. What we have to change is the objects over here. So instead of morning, we will select afternoon, set it to active, and the second one also we will select afternoon. So when you click second card, state of second card should be active and it should be disabled. So we'll go and say update action and click OK. Again, duplicate it one more time. So once your action is ready, it's very easy to make changes to it and use it for the rest of the cards. The only time that you will take is decide what you want to do with that particular interaction. Once that's set, you can easily duplicate it for the rest of the objects on the slide. Tiana, any questions till I finish this? Let me know.
Yes, we have one.
Mhm.
It says, do you have tips on how best to build our software interactions? I'm looking at ways to have cases slash scenarios that users need to complete, but don't want to have them have to do it in a specific order as long as all the steps are done.
Yeah, yeah, we can definitely do that. And if we have time, I will show that to you. I call it forced navigation, where you have to finish everything on the slide and then you are able to move forward. If time permits, I'll show. Otherwise, I can share a video on the similar on a similar workflow, and you can take a look at it. Okay.
Have any more questions?
Very nice. Okay. So now I'm applying these advanced actions to all these four cards, and we are good to go. We can just go and again preview them, and then just see how it works. So I'll click the play button, move to this slide, and you can see I have this pretty hover state. I can click, and then once I click, nothing happens. It is disabled, and my cards interaction looks pretty neat and pretty nice. So it really really helps create this interaction. Okay, now let's close this and get back to the third interaction that we have to create. This involves both the things that we did in the previous one. So in the kettlebell one, we use the show hide. In this, we used the change state. Here we will use both. So here we have a marker, and I've already set it as button and added states to it. So in this, I've added a different state for visited, so that the learner knows that this has been done and it's checked, and hover state is a different color of the question mark. So it really depends on your how creative you want to be with it. So here I decided to have three different states for all these things, and each of these markers have the same thing. And then the images are named as picture 1, 2, and 3, have also have states. So these are custom states that I've added. And then those the text captions, do not have states. They are just you can see answer 1, and we will be using the show hide mechanism over here. Okay, so let's start it. And the first thing we will do is hide the things that are not visible when you start the screen. So these are the text captions which are not visible. So I will shift select them, and I will select this eye icon which is not visible in output. Now what we want to do is we want to write the action for these buttons. Now what are the actions that we want to do? We want to change the state of this image so that it becomes colored. We want to show this text caption, and while we show this, we want to hide the other two. Okay, so these are the four actions we will write. First is change the state of this image, show this caption, hide this caption, and hide this caption. So for that, we can't use the direct action from the actions panel. For that, what we will do is we will go to project advanced action. So always remember, if you want to do more than one thing, you need to go to the advanced action panel and create your action. So I'll name this as marker 1. Okay, and the first action I want to do is change state of the name of the picture is picture 1, and I'll change it to active. Then I want to show answer 1, and then I want to hide answer 2, and I also want to hide answer 3. Okay, even if it is not visible, it will make sure that it is in the hidden state. If it's hidden, it will let it remain hidden. If it is not hidden, then it will hide it. Okay, so this command, uh, it's okay to have it redundant because you don't know which order your learner is going to click that interaction. Okay, so I'll click save as action, and again, just to save time, I will not test this. We will just duplicate this and name it as marker 2, and here we just have to change picture 1 to picture 2 and set it as active. And here we want to show answer 2 and then hide answer 1, and answer 3 is fine over here. Okay, so show the related answer and hide the other two. Update action, and we just need to do one more duplicate of this and remove this 3, and we will change picture to picture 3 and set it to active, and this will be answer 3. So show answer 3 and hide answer 1 and answer 2. Perfect. So we have all these three advanced actions ready. Now we just have to assign it to these markers. So go to the marker, go to on success, execute advanced action, and marker 1. This one is our marker 2, and the third one is the marker 3. Okay. So let's go and preview this and see how it works. And I will get it here, play, get to the screen. So here you can see the text is not visible. When I click this, this image lights up, shows the text. If I click the first one, this remains lighted, and the check mark is also there, and this text shows up, and similarly the third one. So it really depends on what you want to do. All of that you should just figure out that these are the things I want to do when the learner interacts with this particular object, and start writing that action from there. Okay. Tiana, any questions before I proceed?
We don't have any questions.
Great. Okay, let's move forward. I will close this and let's go to the fourth one where we have the doctor and the patient, and we have these captions here. Again, there are states for these captions for these dialogues. You can see there is normal, there is D1 for dialogue 1, D2 for dialogue 2, and D3 for dialogue 3. And similarly, there are states for this particular caption as well. Okay, so when the screen loads, we don't want these empty captions to be available, right? We want these to be not visible in output. So first what we will do is we will mark these as not visible in output. We do not want them. Okay. After doing that, we need to write actions for these buttons. What needs to happen here is, first is it will show these two captions, and then it will change the state of these captions to D1, D2, or D3 respectively, based on which button is clicked. Okay. Again, similar to the previous one, but a little different. So let's just go and write that action. So I'll just name this as icon 1, and in this drop down I will select show. First we need to show the caption, so show caption 1, and then the second one is show caption 2. Okay, these two captions are shown. Now for these captions we want to change the state of these captions, so select change state of caption 1 to D1, and then change state of caption 2 to D1. That's all. These are the four actions we need to write. So click save as action. And again, we will duplicate this and make changes for icon 2 and 3. So here the first two lines remains the same. We always want to show those captions, because otherwise, even if the state is changed, nothing will happen. So this remains the same. Here we will just change it to D2, D2, update action. Okay. And then again, duplicate it. Here it will be icon 3. And if you want to go in order, then you don't even need to do all of this. Then show captions will be only in the for the first button. Second button onwards, you don't need to do that. So if that you want them to follow the order, then you don't need to have these actions again and again if you know that they are going to click in a particular order. Okay. So again, done. Close, and you have to go and assign the action over here. So execute advanced action, marker 1. Here, execute advanced action, marker 2, and execute advanced action and marker 3. And let's preview it and see how it works. Okay, so here you go. So here you can see I'm hovering over it. The state I had already added. I can click in any order. If I click the second one, oh, what's going on? Something went wrong. Let me just see what's going on. So, picture 1. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, sorry. I had to select icon 1 and I selected marker 1. I'm so sorry. See, this is what happens. That's why previewing is very important at every state. So I selected the wrong advanced action. My bad. So when you get such a problem, this is how you troubleshoot it. And I'm thankful that this problem happened. And so here you can see I'm hovering over them. When I click, it shows the related dialogue and populates the captions for us. Okay. Perfect, perfect. Okay, let's go to the last interaction that I have planned for you, and if time permits, I'll show you the forced navigation as well. So this last one, as I said, we have different states for this image. There is C1, C2, C3, and C4, based for each icon. So here you can see that it has these states attached to it. For text also, there are D1, D2, D3, D4 respectively for each of these icons. What we will do is we will make these draggables, we'll make this dotted area drop target, and then we will assign action to it. So instead of keeping it as a simple drag and drop, we will do something fun and interesting with it. So let's go to interactions and select drag and drop. This is where you follow the 3-step wizard to create your drag and drop interaction. Now a submit button is automatically added to drag and drop interaction, assuming that you want to create a question. If not, just like this case, you can move it outside the stage so that it's not available and not visible to the learners. So I've moved that out of my way. My step 1 is to select what are the objects that you want to drag. So here I want to drag the apple, I want to drag the pillow, the glass of water, and my running shoes. Okay, these are my four draggables. So I've just clicked on those objects. These objects will have the ability to be dragged and dropped. Now click next. This comes to the second step. This is the step where you identify what is your drop area. So here, this dotted circle you see, this is a shape with a dotted outline. This is my drop target. This is where I want these objects to be dropped so that I can do the other actions. And now click next. And now you have to show the relationship. What is the correct combination? Usually it will be 1 to 1, where you are, matching the drag and drop, or you are categorizing. But here we are using it for a very different use case. So everything will be matched to this drop area. Okay, everything needs to be dropped here. So all you have to do is click and drag an arrow out of each of these objects and place it in this circle and click finish. So our interaction is ready, but there are some things that we will need to change. But let's do it one by one. And I'll just go and preview this here for you so that you can take a look at it. Let me bring it here, and we'll go to the last slide. So here you can see these are all draggables. I'm able to move these on the stage, and I can drop it too. It goes, okay. But the problem is, it's going and sitting here, nothing is happening. So in the example you saw that the previous object was going back to its position. Here it's looking all cluttered, doesn't work, and the action definitely is not happening because we've not set it up. So let's do it one by one. First, we need to tell Captivate that when the next object is dropped here, the previous one should go back. So we will select the drop area and go to the Format tab in the Drag and Drop Inspector and click Object Actions. Okay. Here you will see that on the top it says Accept All. It says whatever is dropped in this area, just accept, don't worry about it. We will uncheck this. We don't want Captivate to do that for us. Okay. And here the count is set to 1. Okay, you can set it to 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. I will let it be 1. And go back means the second object will be sent back. It will not be allowed if one object is already there. What we want to do is replace. So when the second object is dropped, the previous one should go back. Okay, so I'll click OK now. And now when we preview this, let's see, let's see if it behaves. So click next, 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 and come here. And now I'll place the pillow here. If I decide to get the apple, the pillow goes back to its original location. Okay, so wherever that pillow came from or the apple came from, it will go back to its original location. So we fixed this problem. Now what we will do is we will set the action so that these the image and the text changes, and we get to see all of it. Okay, so let's do that. And we just have to do two things. One is change the text for the change the state of this object and change the state of this image. Also, there are these feedback captions that are automatically generated. No need for them because we are not creating a question. Again, I'll go to advanced action because I want to do two things. I want to change the state of image and the text. So let's go there, and I will name this as drag 1. And my first line will be change state of character. That's the name of the image that I have, to C1. And again, change state of the text name is DND text, and change it to D1. Okay, so that's the drag sorry, the drop text one. And this is ready. Save as action. And again, we will duplicate it because we have to do the same thing for drag 2, 3, and 4. So here everything remains the same. All we have to do is change the state. So C2 and D2, update action, okay, duplicate, and change this to drag 3, change this to C3, and this will be D3, and update action, click OK, and then again duplicate, and that will become drag 4, C4, and D4, and update action. Now, there is a different place where you will have to go and assign these actions because this is related to the drop area. So again, we will go back to this object actions panel from where we switched off the accept all. Here, these are the names of the draggables, and you will see there is no action assigned next to it. Okay, this is the place where we can go and execute these four advanced actions that we created. So here you can see drag one is the second item. I will click no action next to it. And here I will say execute advanced action and I will select drag one. Okay. Then I'll go and select no action next to drag two, execute advanced action, drag two. Okay. No action next to drag three, execute advanced action, select drag three, click OK. No action next to drag four, execute advanced action and drag four. And our interaction is perfectly ready. So let's preview this and see how it looks. And I believe we have some time, so I can definitely show you the forced navigation that you can set for the interactions. And here you can see I'm dragging the pillow. The image changes, the text also changes, and it is working beautifully. And I'm able to drag and drop it and create something like this very, very easily. Tiana, do we have any questions?
Yes, we do have one.
Hmm.
Oh no, I think we have two. So the first one is if what if the interaction involves more than one drop target? Is there a way to use the wizard for that?
Yes, you can definitely. So you can have multiple drop targets, you can have multiple draggables, and all of that is definitely possible. I'm actually doing a webinar sometime next week. So let me give you my LinkedIn LinkedIn link and connect with me, and I will share the registration link with you. Okay. Did I put it in the Q&A pod? It's here.
So we
Okay.
have another one.
Hmm.
To add on to the previous question I asked above, do you have any hacks for making an interaction involving more than one drop target easier?
Uh, this is the one that you read out, right? Tiana?
Yes.
Is it?
So again, it says to add on to the previous question that I just
Okay.
had. Do you have any hacks for making an interaction involving more than one drop target easier?
Yes, so I will be covering all of that in a webinar that I'm doing next week. So join me and I'll show you those hacks.
So that is all the questions that we have.
Perfect. Okay. So let's do that quick interaction where you want all the buttons to be clicked and then something like a continue button that shows up. Okay. So let's imagine this is our dummy continue button, and I'll just name this as continue so that we can easily find it. And again, it needs to be hidden, so we will just hide this button from view. Now, here to do this, we will have to write some variables and conditions, okay? Because Captivate needs to check whether all five buttons have been clicked. So to do that, first we will go to variables from project and we will add five variables. So let's add five variables. I'll just name this as maybe h1 and set the value as 0, save. H1 for say habit 1, I'm just using a simple name. H2, set it as 0. Then H3, set the value as 0. H4, say, let me just 0 and update it and add new H5 and set the value as 0 and save it. Okay, so we have these five variables that we will use for each of these habits and close. So we have this ready. Then we will go to advanced action. And then here, let's name this as habit 1. And what we will do is we will show habit content 1, which was the action that we wanted to do here. Uh, Habit content. Okay. Habit content 1. And what we want to do is we want to assign h1, the variable that we just created, with a value of 1, any value. So we have to check if the value of all these variables has been changed. So here, instead of 1, you can say done, clicked, whatever. 1 seems to be very easy for me, so I usually use that. So this is the first decision. You see this untitled one. These are the two actions that will take place. Then click on the next tab. This tab we will make conditional. To make it conditional, you can select conditional tab over here. It will give you if then else type of a statement. So here you can write if variable h1 is equal to a literal value of 1. And similarly, we'll be writing similar actions for habit 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we need to check all 5 of them if they are turned to 1. So let's copy this and paste it here. 3 and 4, and then we will make change to it, and then add one more and paste. Okay, so we have 5 lines now, and instead of h1, we will sorry, instead of h1 we will change it to h2, and this one will be h3, and then we will have h4, and then the last one will be h5. When all these values change to 1, what we want to do is we want to show the continue button. So this is our action, and here we will say show continue button and click save as action. Okay, so this is our habit 1. This condition, every button click you have to check, but when you duplicate this, only thing you have to change is on the first tab, because that's the action that needs to be done. The second is more like checking the condition. So here, let's change it to habit content 2, and the variable we want h2 to be affected by that, and so on. So this is how you will write these actions and apply to each of those buttons. Okay, so I'll just quickly try to do that. uh, 3, habit 3, and we name this as h3, update action, and then we'll have habit 4, and this will be 4. So similarly, we will create it for 5 as well, and then just apply this action to the object. So that's all you need to do, and your action will be ready, and the continue button will show up only when all 5 buttons are clicked. So this was it. You just have to apply these actions to, instead of show, you will say execute advanced action, and you will say habit 1, habit 2, habit 3, habit 4, and habit 5. So that's all you need to do. And with that, any questions, Tiana? Otherwise, we can close the session.
No, we don't have any more questions.
Very nice. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here and joining me today. It was a pleasure talking to you about creating all these wonderful interactions and spending time with you. Thank you for attending the session and choosing this session over the others. Don't forget the clue that I shared with you for the scavenger hunt. Enjoy the rest of your conference and take care. Bye bye.